This is K2 News at 6 on your side.
New at 6, a dramatic uptick in the number of tickets Portland police officers are handing out for public drug use. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for K2 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Deborah Knapp. A K2 investigation found officers in the county wrote on average 5 times as many tickets per month this year compared to the first 2 years Measure 110 was in effect. K2 investigator Wright Gazaway uncovered it was due to an explicit directive from police leaders.
Yeah, and that's why the number of Measure 110 tickets handed out by law enforcement this year has exploded. Officers in all of Multnomah County wrote just 348 tickets in nearly the first 2 years Measure 110 was in effect. Portland officers just downtown have written over 500 tickets just since May of this year.
We were given direction by our commander in May that we were to prioritize enforcement of Measure 110 and street-level drug use.
Officer David Baer works for the Portland Police Bureau's Central Precinct Bike Squad. That directive has led to a busy spring and summer.
That's it right there. That's powdered fentanyl. We can issue these tickets fairly quickly. It's just a matter of, we're finding people that are actively using drugs on the sidewalk. Those are the folks that we're looking for.
Oregon voters approved Measure 110 in November 2020. It decriminalized personal possession of all hard drugs. Instead of arresting people, police can write a $100 ticket. The ticket can be waived if the person calls a Lions for Life number and gets a health screening.
There seems to be a lot of misinformation about the current state of the law in Oregon, so we frequently run into people who assure us that drugs are legal, open air drug use is legal. I just came here from Arizona. I thought that this was fine. So there's still the, no, you can't do this. This is still a violation.
We're seeing more of this. These are the M30s.
Baer says the ticket writing still takes a backseat to their priority, finding the dealers. Portland officers have seized over 150,000 fentanyl pills and arrested 45 people for selling drugs just this year in downtown Portland, according to the mayor's office.
The majority of our day is spent doing surveillance or building missions or building cases on people that are dealing mostly in significant quantities.
We need to fix the law.
Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler is also the city's police commissioner. He's encouraging state lawmakers to do more to cut down on public drug use. He says in the meantime, he wants officers to keep writing these tickets. What kind of expectation do you have that police write Measure 110 tickets and do what they can under the current law to curb drug use?
Yeah, so the chief and I have had, we talk about this all the time. We're very concerned about drug use on the streets of Portland. I don't need to tell anybody that fentanyl is wreaking havoc on our streets. And we talk all the time about what tools, what resources, what we can do to step things up. And obviously one of the things we've talked about is issuing citations per Measure 110 to people who are using drugs on our streets. And so they've really ramped up their efforts on that front. A new state law now makes it a higher level crime with possible jail time to have certain amounts of fentanyl, even for personal use. The Multnomah County Sheriff also opened the jail, meaning police officers have more tools to prevent drug use out in the open.
With the new passage of the misdemeanor fentanyl possession bill, people are going to start going to jail for possessing misdemeanor amounts of fentanyl. And hopefully, when that kind of gets around, that's what's kind of happening and open booking is a thing again. We're hoping that kind of stems the tide of people thinking it's okay to openly use drugs on the sidewalk.
Looking at the statewide numbers, officers wrote on average about 250 Measure 110 tickets a month from January to July of this year. You can see that's up from 164 tickets a month on average from February 2021 to December 2022. However, the vast majority of those people are not calling the number for treatment, and most of them are skipping court. I'm Wright Gazaway at the live desk.
2 people